baby. It's Saturday night, hockey night in Canada, and we are back with another live post-game show of the Curfew Boys podcast. If you are joining in on YouTube, thank you so much. If you're joining in on Twitter, also known as X, thank you so much as well. Please, folks, click like and subscribe or follow us. It is absolutely free, and share this with your fellow Canadians fans near and far. All episodes of the Curfew Boys podcast are available audio formats as well on platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. I am Sammy. He is my cousin Chris. Hey now.
Man.
We're back. We're back.
What did we say last episode? This next game against the Leafs is going to be a building block opportunity, and it's going to be a telltale sign as to whether or not the Canadiens are okay. And by all accounts, they're okay.
I can't wait to get into it with you all, folks. Before we get into this episode, I just want to take a moment to thank our sponsors. We'll start with my buddy Mike's Barbecue Rub out in RDP, Montreal, but he's definitely a Canadian company that creates his own barbecue spices. It can be used on anything: fish, meat, vegetables. If it can be thrown on the grill, you definitely need to try Mike's Barbecue Rub. He also uses those same spices to season his kettle cooked chips which are absolutely amazing. Give my boy Mike a shout out, some love on social media platforms such as Instagram and TikTok. You could visit his website, mikesbarbecuerub.com. He ships anywhere and everywhere in Canada, so support local. And don't forget, boys and girls, to rub your meat, especially when you beat the Leafs. Also, a big thank you to our boy Sunil from the very famous Habs Cave. It is a man's cave dream for any Habs fan out there in the world. Great content regarding Motreal Canadiens memorabilia. Chances are, if you can think of it, he's for sure got it in his basement. Sunil, great person, great Montreal Canadiens fan, a great member of the Montreal Canadiens community, probably one of the biggest fans out there, including us. We want to thank him as well. Give him some love as well on Instagram and TikTok. And last but not least, Les Délices Lafrenière. Some of the best pastries in the Montreal area, cakes, cannolis, and our favorite Zeppelis during the famous San Giuseppe holiday, which is always around the month of March. They have 6 locations: Rosemere, Brossard, Saint-Julie, Montreal West, Pointe-Claire, and our hometown of Saint Leonard. So visit lesdeliceslafrenette.com. They are simply delicious, simplement délicieux. And something that was delicious, as always, is when we beat the Toronto Maple Leafs, especially on a Saturday night at the Bell Center. Absolutely, Elias. We gave them a whooping. If ever you hear noise in the background, I am not in my office because it's full of stuff. I'm in the kitchen area. My dishwasher is going crazy at the moment, so bear with me if you hear something. I'll try to mute the mic whenever it's not my turn speaking. I don't know if you guys could hear it or not, but if you do,
you're good. You're good, man.
I'm good. If I stick close to the mic, maybe I could kind of fog the noise there. Something. But speaking of noise, I'm pretty sure the Bell Center was rocking tonight because the day Saturday, we are November 22nd, started with very big news, happy news for a lot of Habs fans and for a particular family out there. Florian Xhkaj gets the call up, and I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall if ever Kent Hughes, Jeff Gordon, and even head coach Marty St. Louis were having some sort of discussion to decide whether they should call up Florian Xhkaj or not, whether they believe he's ready for the NHL. This isn't preseason. This isn't training camp. This is a different animal. And you know what? I think after the way they lost against the Washington Capitals, the way Tom Wilson kind of, for lack of a better term, intimidated this team once again, I think that game showed that this team is fragile, that lost an identity a little bit. So they needed a spark. And I think I always was a bit not skeptical. I was a bit on the defense about whether the Canadiens should call up Florian or not. I think we all knew his time was going to come in the NHL. His mother definitely knew it was going to happen. And I, God bless her. God bless that family. Like, I'm so happy I'm so happy for the entire family, but especially her. It's like when she was a guest on our show last summer, and she mentioned it, like, man, like you knew it was going to happen. You felt it from her. You feel the love and the passion she has for her kids.
And just to add, it wasn't summer 2025. It was summer
No,
2024.
24. Yeah, exactly. So it's like so happy they made the trip down. But you look at tonight's game, it's just one game. But in doing so and bringing in Florian Xhkaj, I think the Canadiens and even management took advantage of a very fragile Toronto Maple Leafs team. And if you're thinking about two teams within the division, the Canadiens and the Toronto Maple Leafs, that are, let's call a spade, Chris. They're both fragile teams at the moment, considering how they're playing, and maybe the Leafs a little bit more for them where they are in the standings, and especially that they don't have Austin Matthews, they don't have Matthew Nyes in the lineup. The Canadiens took advantage of that tonight, and I was hoping Florian Xhkaj would bring some kind of spark to this team. And like you mentioned, this win was so important because they're heading out west now. What a game. What a game.
Yeah, well, I'd love to pick up with Florian Xhkaj first and foremost. I kind of felt maybe the same sentiment as yourself. There's obviously his style of play. You think it's going to match up to what the Canadiens are going to need as a fourth line energy type of player checking forward, but you don't, like, that's the key recipe, folks. We don't want to be rushing our prospects. We don't want to put them into a situation where there's a higher likelihood of failure. But oh my God, Florian Xhkaj came in and he delivered what all of us fans were really hoping that he could bring. And I think I'm going to say something that goes beyond Florian Xhkaj. Like, even if we go to Jared Davidson, those guys have brought a lot of energy. They've brought a huge and fantastic amount of forechecking. They put all sorts of pressure on the opposing team's defense. And when I say it again, it's not to diminish our established players and our older players in any way, shape, or form. But, you know, Gallagher can't necessarily be playing that way. Josh Anderson, it's almost as though he had a fire lit under his ass, as though,
reborn.
Josh, you didn't do your job. We had to bring up somebody to remind you this is what we need out of you. And all that to say is, it was just one goal shy of a Gordie Howe hat trick as an NHL debut, and all that to say, what a fight! Bloodied the opposing player, like fearless, and
he won.
And I do want to say, much like I was saying about Arbor Xhekaj, that you felt that kind of lion on the edge of a leash, and you're holding back, like, just fearless style of game. And love that so much from him. But big statement game all around from the boys. It feels like it's a while since we've really beaten up on Toronto like that and had that kind of a statement game. This is, like I said at the very beginning of the episode, this is a building block. They really have to use this as a momentum to propel them forward and upward, and it's going to be okay. We're going to weather the storm. Our players are injured. It doesn't matter. We've got what we need to get through this and to continue playing good hockey. And I had another. I'm gonna end it off on a little pot shot at Toronto, but Ivan Demidov, again, another 2 points. We could say Ivan Demidov, Noah Dobson. You're wearing the demigod shirt, but I'm gonna hand it off. I want to hear your perspective on Noah Dobson, but before doing so, like, Demidov, I have to say, there's this sentiment that, like, oh, he didn't score. It's unfortunate. And then you look at his point production, and another 2 points tonight. He's on pace for a 67-point season. So, yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding. It's 60. It's 66
that's not
points.
coincidence.
It's 66 point something, but let's just
we're
round it
rounding
up
it
to
off.
67.
Yes. Are you
And just as a
serious?
reminder, Leafs fans, yeah,
Are you
yeah,
fucking for
I'll
real?
give you the exact. He is at.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's. I
Dude,
did that
that's
quick
meant to be.
calculation. If he plays, it's more a 66.4. Let's say 66.5. He's going to get more than
Round it off.
66. We're rounding it up.
Sebastian Maniscalco style.
It's going up.
Did you see the Saturday Night Live skit of what's his
Yes.
name that imitated Maniscalco? Oh my god, I was on the floor. Anyways, big Italian. Maniscalco is one of our favorite comedians. But no, dude, you mentioned
No Dobson. No
yes,
Dobson.
you mentioned
Oh, okay,
Demidov and Noah
Demidov. You're wearing the
Dobson.
shirt. Come on.
Well,
Come on.
I got to speak about them both because Demidov, when things go well and things go right, his art of deception is out of this world. And
Goalie was still looking at Demidov while
I
Noah
know,
Dobson was firing into the net.
but that's exactly the play I'm talking about.
Sorry if I stole that.
But no, it's fine. No. But the thing, I'm so happy you mentioned Noah Dobson's name because despite the beating we got against Washington, I think he was one of the only ones, at least on defense, and maybe amongst the entire team. Him and Mike Matheson last game, they still played well despite the loss. I mean, we don't have to get too much into it. Yeah. We got to give credit to our boy Rob.
Roberto.
He called it. Our boy Rob. He actually called it absolutely big time. No Dobson tonight was absolutely buzzing out there, and again, I look at the last game and I look at the last. Let's just look at the last 5 games throughout this losing streak, which they finally snapped. Like Noah Dobson actually looked pretty good. Like he's obviously not perfect, but he didn't look like one of the weaker players out there. Him and, like I said, him and Matheson paired up together probably is working wonders for Mike Matheson. But Noah Dobson, and I think now Noah Dobson is finally. I'm not saying, I don't want to use the word fit in, like he fit in since day one, but now he's really getting getting used to, accustomed to, and it takes around 15 to 20 games for newer guys to kind of adapt to the newer system, get to know their players on defense, get to know your D partner. Say hello to Big Pizza Guy. Hey guys, how's it going? Great game today. Absolutely.
It's 2 times. I'm gonna rip into you a little bit here, Sammy. It's 2 times you call Big Pizza Pie Big Pizza Guy.
I thought I said Big Pizza Pie. Big Pizza Pie.
Last episode and this episode. Sorry, Pizza Pie.
Whoops. Big. The main word is pizza. That's the important word. As long as I get that part right. Noah Dobson, though, what a game tonight, and that play. Actually, both goals were nice. Like he's just buzzing around in the zone in the first goal. Like the Toronto Maple Leafs didn't know what to do with him. And then that second goal, that tic-tac-toe, Slafkovsky to Demidov to Dobson. We got to give Uri Slafkovsky all the love in the world tonight. He was I don't know what he was on tonight. If any of you are familiar with the movie Space Jam, not the LeBron James one, the original, the OG, the GOAT, Michael Jordan Space Jam, where they drink.
That's because he's the GOAT.
Yeah, dude, I love it. That's because he's the GOAT. The GOAT. When Bugs Bunny makes everybody, all the characters, drink Mike's secret stuff. I don't know what Uri Slafkovsky drank tonight, but he was definitely,
as long as it's legal, keep going, Slav.
He was definitely on Mike's secret stuff, and he was flying out there. As the second period, he looked like a whole different player. No, I think it's amazing what confidence can do, and I think yesterday's practice, I don't know what Marty did during the practice, but apparently, like,
he left after 25 minutes,
and
that was the big thing.
And he said, like, that's it. And at first, it sounded like it was like, that's it, I'm out of here type of shit. But I think some kind of message was delivered. It's like, maybe it's a positive thing. Like, that's it. That's what I want to see. Left the ice. Guys continue to practice. They needed this tonight. They needed this. They needed to stop the bleeding. They did. And you know what? They took advantage, like I said, of a fragile Toronto Maple Leafs team. I'm happy. I'm happy Dobesh got the start again. I think he not that I don't think he deserves it. I don't know which word to use anymore regarding the goaltenders, but the saves were made tonight when he had to. There was a couple of times I was still a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little bit nervous, and I think I would have felt the same thing if Monty was in net. No matter who's in net, it's just because like I I feel like Dobish too tonight wasn't too aggressive in his net.
He had a few moments. He had a few moments where even the CBC guys pointed out, like, "Oh, he's quite far out of his net." They almost scored a goal. He made a great stretch save with his pad on the ice. I would say this too, Sam. Like before we take maybe a deeper dive, if we have to. Maybe tonight is one of those nights where we actually don't have to talk about goaltending. But I want to go back to two players and then Marty. So number one, just rapid fire. I believe that this was the closest that we've seen Slav to the closest we've seen Slav play to the player that we drafted, which means the player that we are watching play for Slovakia and power through and skate.
Yeah.
Number two, Noah Dobson, 21 games, first two goal game. I think it's 388 games with the Islanders, 0 2-goal games. Just for FYI, just so that the fans know, it might not be 388. Don't quote me, but I did see the statistic. It was above 300 games his entire time with the Islanders. He never had a 2-goal game. He did it within 21 games here with the Montreal Canadiens. And the third, I want to kind of go back to Marty / Juraj Slafkovsky. I was critical of Marty after the game against Washington, and I know. Well, no, but I still stand by it. I still think it's fair. But there's one thing that I think is worth discussing. I don't think that Budzirk is absolutely not a fit. I do think he's got his place at the very least to try out on the first line. I still retain that I would love to see Demidov get some time with both Suzuki and Caulfield. There seems to be magic every time those guys are passing to one another.
Yeah.
But the point here, Juraj Slafkovsky shifting down, and I might see the light at the end of the tunnel for this. Juraj Slafkovsky being bumped down to the second line and automatically becoming the veteran player on that line. He has been attempting to carry the play, and he's had to play a style of hockey that he hasn't necessarily had the opportunity to do so on, or the opportunity to do on that first line, which means Suzuki is usually the guy who's carrying the puck, or it's Caulfield who's carrying the puck. And Slafkovsky is playing more the defensive, the responsible, the puck fetching, the board play. And Juraj Slafkovsky, like a couple of times tonight, it was the first time where I saw him make a few cuts and rush up the ice. He had a semi-breakaway. He had, a few great rushes all around. And it might be kind of like one of those Mr. Miyagi moves that Marty pulled off.
Mr. Who?
Mr. Miyagi, like wax on, wax off Karate Kid. Yeah, it might be like, what are you doing, Marty? Why are you having why are you having Slav play there and do this as an activity? And next thing you know, it's like the Slav that they drafted is emerging. I'm hoping it's one game. Let's not get too excited. Let's not expect this out of him every single game. But if it's a sign to come that's going to get him out of his comfort zone and back to the player and with the potential that we saw in him to draft him first overall, I think it's a point that's worth being made and discussed at the very least.
I like that point, actually, because tonight was probably one of the first times, maybe since Juraj Slafkovsky has been with this team, that he's carried the puck and controlled the puck.
That's it.
It's a fantastic point. It's a fantastic point because it was always Suzuki or Caulfield, and this is 3. How many games is this? This is 4 games now where that line's been together. So I could say, like, we could say this has been maybe this is probably the best game that that trio has been put together. The second best one was probably the first time against Columbus. Not so much against Washington. Against Boston, I'm trying to remember if they were together in Boston. I'm not 100% certain right now. All that to say is that, yeah, I think Marty wants to see more of Slav as a leader on a line, and I can't think of any better guys than those two. Like Oliver Kapanen, man, like he's playing fantastic. He's playing fantastic. I don't know if he's going to be that second line center, but right now,
about to say, arguably asking a little bit too much of him, regardless, as well as he is playing.
Yeah, but dude, if I right now, like I always thought an Owen Beck would be a third line centerman. Oliver Kapanen is kind of taking that gig and running with it, man. And he's looking fantastic out there. I'm a huge Owen Beck fan. I think I've been a bit of an Owen Beck fan more than an Oliver Kapanen. Now, mind you, I've been able to keep a closer eye on Owen Beck since he was in Laval and playing in the OHL versus a prospect playing in Europe. But Oliver Kapanen, man, he's one of the top 5 rookies in the league right now for a reason. I don't think it's a fluke. I don't think it's a fluke that he's there. Him and Demidov, dude, like this is it's fantastic. And yeah, we're we're using all these words, fantastic, amazing, and like 48 hours ago we were ripping on coaches and players and all that. And although you know what I mean, we praise everything that's happened for one night, we could also criticize everything that's happened for just one night. No, I'm extremely happy with the way the boys played. They were on their toes the entire game. Creating the second period, like we talk about Slav, he almost had a goal. He got robbed by Joseph Woll on a pad save.
Joseph Woll got hung out to dry this game. He played it could have been 7-0 by the time he got pulled. Good on him, and shame on the Leafs on the overall.
I know the Leafs defense is terrible.
They also lost Jake McCabe to a puck to the jaw. Looked like another broken jaw. Like, seems as though everybody who's playing against the Montreal Canadiens, one of the defenders is getting shot in the jaw and having to leave the game. There's Werenski, McAvoy, and Jake McCabe. Within 4 games, 3 defenders had completely messed up their jaws.
I mean, I think they'll be okay to represent Team USA at the Olympics, but I'm sure Bill Guerin, like at one point, shat his pants thinking like his top 2 defensemen for his Team USA like might be out. especially McAvoy, the poor bastard, was spitting chiclets for real. Nope, this is honestly excellent game. Florian gets an assist on a Josh Anderson snipe, man. That was all. Josh Anderson.
2 goals for Anderson. Yeah.
Against the Leafs. John, if there's one thing you could expect is a Josh Anderson game, like playing a game against the Leafs. Like it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Again, especially against the Leafs. Nope, that was the win that this team desperately needed. Breaking a 5-game losing streak. No, it was absolutely perfect. And you know what? I'm hoping and praying that they carry this into Utah. Mind you, they're gonna have a good 1-2. They have 3 days off. They're gonna be playing Wednesday night in Utah. That's a 9:30 p.m. start. Then Friday, Saturday against Vegas, Colorado. No, this has to feel good for the boys heading into that Western road trip, because if they lost this game, you know what I mean? Like I mean, who knows? Would they go into this road trip with low confidence? Probably. They're gonna definitely enjoy a rest on Sunday for sure, and then get back to work practicing probably Monday, Tuesday, and then leaving whenever they leave. But nope, they definitely needed this one, and you got key performances from your best players. Were your best players. I think that's an important analogy to take from this game. Your best players were your best players. Your Lane Hudson and your Noah Dobson's on defense. You're 1 and 2 right there. You got performances from Nick Suzuki and Caulfield, obviously. Then the Slav Demidov too, and then Josh. Like basically all the lines played well. And even you know what, take it however it is. Joe Valeno, Brendan Gallagher, and Jared Davidson, they brought in energy.
Hell of a game. Yeah.
They brought in energy, but what I love the most is that there was a wolf pack mentality tonight.
So on that front, I have two separate things to say.
Mhm.
I heavily criticized Xhekaj. What the f is wrong with me? I'm slipping over here. Didn't even drink. What the hell is going on? But all this to say is I criticized Xhekaj last game, and I stand by it. Like, I still think he should have taken action against Tom Wilson or against any one of the Washington Capitals to send a message
I think
after what happened to Jake Evans. But
Yeah.
Xhekaj right out of the gate, obviously the foot was off the gas at 4-0, and I actually didn't like the fact that they took their foot off the gas at 4-0. I wish they would have ran them through the wall, dragged them back, and put them through the wall where there was another hole to be made. Again tonight, they didn't quite do that, but they still outright dominated. I will say this. I did like the physical game all around from the Canadiens, but it leads me to another stat that I came across between the periods. The Montreal Canadiens absolutely dominate against teams that are 6'1" or less. Teams that the average height of the team is 6'2" plus. They have a less than 500 record. I think it's almost like a 400. Whereas when they play against teams that are smaller in stature, they absolutely have mowed them down this season. And this is why I say, beyond the shadow of a doubt, they have to go get some more toughness. They have to go get some more gritty guys. And like I said, Jared Davidson, as an example, is not a fighter. He's not the guy who's going to drop the gloves. But that sandpaper type of game, like a piece of shit Brandon Duhem, who I want to punch right across the face, he does the job so well. He plays such a great disrupting game on the fourth line and can contribute here and there. The Montreal Canadiens have to go get more sandpaper and speed. And I will say this much as I'm super happy to have Noah Dobson on the back end, look how well, and I'm so happy to see it, but look how Heineman is doing in Long Island. He's absolutely playing a fantastic game. I think he's at nine goals on the season. But that guy was another sandpaper, hard forechecking, hard hitting, had defensemen his heads on the swivel when he was forechecking, can contribute here and there. We need more of those guys, and I think they should go. And on that note, talking about potential guys coming into the Montreal Canadiens, I'm sure some of you have had seen Elliot Friedman was reporting with the contract coming to, I think it was a buyout or a mutual parting of ways. Alexandre Texier, potentially the Montreal Canadiens are leading the charge. So he's a 6'1", 199-pound left winger. What's your take on that? So I don't know how I feel about it.
I mean, look, I remember Alexandre Texier at one point had good days in Columbus, I believe. I remember him scoring some kind of nice, I don't think it was either a shootout goal or a penalty shot where he came in and kind of like one hand poke checked it on the 5-hole. That's the big memory I have of Alexandre Texier. But I mean, look, a second round pick, you know what I mean? I not going to get much out of him. It's probably one of those things. Yeah, at 6'1", I would have loved if it was a player that was a little bit over 200 pounds. Mind you, he's at 196, left winger, which we don't have. The guy that actually shoots left, we don't have many of those. I mean, if you're gonna give him a shot, maybe because you think if they go get him, then you're probably gonna send down a Joshua Roy, which is fine by me, unfortunately for the kid. And I don't know. I think it's I don't expect much of him. Like if he's gonna be one of those players that comes in, he's just gonna be one of those guys. Like just forecheck hard. If he's maybe a penalty killer that can kind of replace what Alex Newhook used to be before he got injured, yeah, that's fine. But as far as like Alexandre Texier is concerned, I'm not expecting him to come here and and save the team. Just like I wasn't expecting Florian Xhkaj to come here and save the team per se. Just so much add toughness, add grit, add some sandpaper. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I know exactly what you were talking about. I heard about. I was watching Elliot Freeman talk about it. I mean, who was that player that Boston sent through waivers that Habs fans wanted to pick up, but he ended up going with. I think he got claimed by Calgary, and then with the Vancouver Canucks. Who was it that signed? My God, I'm having a bit of a brain fart here. Was it David Kampf that got released by Toronto?
Yes,
and Montreal apparently was looking at him, but he ended up signing with the Vancouver Canucks. So I mean, I think you could tell that management is trying to find these bottom six depth players just because. I mean, how long do you want to rely on a Jared Davidson to help you out? You know what I mean? Like, how long is Florian Xhkaj going to be up with the team? So I think at that front, they're trying to look for guys that already established themselves in the NHL. And again, just to be depth players, they're not going to be brought to, help on the power play or to be second line center or be a top six winger, but no, I'm certain, I'm willing to bet money on it that Kent Hughes and Jeff Gordon are making phone calls around the league, and they know they have to. And we'll see if they do by the time guys like Caden Cooley comes back, by the time Kirby Dach comes back, maybe even by the time Patrick Laine comes back. Like those guys, yeah, they're going to be out for a bit, but time goes by fast. Like the only one that we know is going to be back later, like really late in the season, is Alex Newhook. But like the Caden Coolies and the Kirby Dachs, like it won't be that long. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen afterwards when those guys slowly start returning. Like I picture the defensive rotation again when Gooley is back between Jaden Struble and an Arbor Xhekaj. Unfortunately, that's just what it's going to be. And then when Doc comes back, well, you're gonna have to send somebody back down. It's either gonna be one of the three, one of Joshua Roy, Jared Davidson, or Florian Xhkaj.
Roy is back down in the minors already.
No, apparently they didn't send him. It was a mistake. When the Canadiens sent out the tweet, they said Florian Xhekaj up, Joshua Roy back. They sent another one, say like correction.
Oops, pushed the wrong button.
Well, or just gave the wrong info. But I expect it to be Joshua Roy. I just don't. Sorry, kid. I unless you prove me wrong, and I've been a fan of Joshua Roy since his junior days in Sherbrooke when he was dominating, one of the best players in the league. Even his World Junior days with Team Canada both times. Sorry, man. I just don't see. I don't see the jump. He's still a smart player, actually, but I just don't see him having that NHL foot speed in the minors in Laval. Absolutely amazing. For some reason,
he doesn't have that gear with much. I fear that he's going to become like a Zach Fucale. I don't know why they're all goalies that I have. A Charlie Lindgren, where they
insane,
swing by Washington, make a stop, and somehow find their confidence and find their way. But I just don't see it. And there's also, you mentioned a name earlier in the episode, and like as you were saying this, it really hit me hard. We're talking about making potential moves and what pieces can come in. I don't want to say it, but I will outright say it. Owen Beck immediately becomes one of the best trade chips that you have of it. No, and I'm saying reasonable trade chips that we do not want to give away. But I think as a fan base, for the right deal, this is it might be a little bit easier to get over and accept.
Maybe. And you think about the good news about Owen Beck is that he could play both center and wing. But as long as Oliver Kapanen keeps playing the way he's playing in the NHL, and this is just his rookie season,
You have
and then
Michael Hage in the
you have
pipeline.
Michael Hage. You have Michael Hage in the mix there. It's gonna be tough. Jake Evans is signed for another 3-4 years.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough. And listen, we're talking about Owen Beck. The Laval Rocket played today this afternoon. They absolutely dominated
7-2, was it?
the Belleville Senators. It was a one-sided game, 7-2. Jacob Fowler in net, so another victory. But this is a back-to-back win for the Laval Rocket. Owen Beck, 3 assists. He got 3 assists, 5 shots on net. He got most shots. Him and William Trudeau. David Reinbacher.
Yeah, another 2 goals, was it?
2 goals, 3 goals in 2 games. I'm just saying.
Roberto dropped a comment saying Roi equals Drouin. With all due respect, Roberto, I will give Drouin a little bit more of a nod. I think he had a little bit more of an accomplished NHL career, but you're not terribly far at the same time.
Yeah, you're talking about a third.
Xavier Laflamme from Goon.
Yeah. What a movie. It's
what
so
a great movie.
Hey, Pepe Le Pew, you're shitting your fucking pants tonight, eh, bud? Something like that. I forgot what he said to him, but I remember calling him Pepe Le Pew. What a movie. That was a fantastic movie. No, look, I just real quick going back to the text here. Like, if they get him, great. That player, I'm not going to be expecting much out of him, basically. So,
yeah, a big part of me actually hopes that they kind of put the brakes. They just pump the brakes on this, and they give Florian Xhkaj a couple more games before they execute such a decision. Because if Xhekaj is going to get it done, and again, it's just a question if we start to see that he's not fully ready and he has to go back down, then yeah, absolutely, I see the need for Texier. I see him coming in, Texier coming in rather than we lost Sammy Blais to waivers as an example.
That's another
so
thing too,
the fit is there. Like I don't think if we didn't lose Sammy Blais, I don't think that we'd be having this conversation. I don't think
no.
Xhekaj. I don't even think Florian Xhekaj has his first game tonight, for that matter. So, yeah, it's gonna be, when I say pump the brakes, just let's check out. Let's keep in the back of our minds not to rush Florian Xhekaj. Give him his time to develop. But if he is performing and he's more fit for the show and to bring that energy and to play that checking role, then by all means, let him stay.
It's a good point about Sammy Blais. If he never gets waived, or if we never lose him to waivers. Also, too, if we don't lose Newhook and Kirby Dach to injury. Actually, you talk about Florian. I don't even think we see Jared Davidson and Joshua Roy. But anyways, it is what it is. And at the end of the day, management made that decision for a reason, and it's paid off, at least tonight, and hoping that it pays off for this upcoming road trip. Guys, whoever's listening, send in your questions. We got a couple of questions and comments from our followers on Instagram. We'll start with our boy Ryan McInnes. Dobish looks solid. Florian stays. Yeah. Yep. Dobish. Yeah. No, he looks solid tonight. I think this win is definitely important for his confidence level. Which is going to lead to now a question from another longtime supporter, Angie_Mancini. Can we now stick with the winning goalie? Question mark.
If you don't mind me taking this.
That's all yours.
One of the big points of frustration was the fact that we kept turning to Sam Montembeault when he was showing signs of struggling greatly.
Mm-hmm.
So all I'm going to say is if we can get Adobe back on the right track and get him playing, I do not want to see the winning goaltender benched the next game, particularly if it's Dobish. The guy has not looked the same since he lost that game in Jersey, and he should not have been waiting as long as that to play a game. I think it was like 10 days that he had not played a game. We can't have that. So yes, absolutely, let the winning goalies play. They lose by whatever circumstances, you switch it up. And even maybe not. I don't even agree with myself here, because I would rather see more. I would rather see more of Doby. Like, Monty has way bigger challenges this year. I'm going to call that spade a spade. Monty has much more significant challenges. Doby was doing perfectly fine until we derailed his confidence, in my humble opinion. I would like to see more of Doby until we see a complete role reversal for Monty. Otherwise, Doby all the way.
Yeah. Well, another comment that we got from the real JKV, Dobesh over Monty. I agree. I agree with everyone on this. It's not a shot on Montembeault per se, him, but we're in that business of needing the W's and needing the points, and we've said this over and over again, and we're gonna keep saying it until one of those two is just playing consistently well, that they deserve the start. They deserve the net at the start of those games. Right now, Dolbish got you that win. You got I couldn't agree more. Vitherson said, "What are some takeaways from tonight's game, good and bad?" Well, I think the takeaway from tonight's game is they stopped the bleeding, like I said, by having your best players be your best players, and you got consistency from all four lines. And you know what? You want to add in Florian Xhekaj's debut, that little spark. He had a good game for a third line role, fight, assist. The boys were fired up. You saw it. That's some of the good I could take away from this.
The bad, I get the boring role here, but the bad, I would argue, is that, much like I was saying this episode and in previous episodes, I do not want to see them take their foot off the gas. The Maple Leafs, at the end of the day, it was 5-2 on an empty net goal, but it was 5 minutes left in the game, 4-2. You never know what happens at that point in time. Mm-hmm. I do not, especially against the Maple Leafs. They are down. You step on their throat until until the game is done. That's it. I'm not saying anything else, but you keep going until it's done. I hate the fact that we had to see that stupid little shit William Nylander score again. Yeah, I just want to see somebody sock him right across the face, but that's another story.
Whoa. He's so good, though. I hate it. He's such a fantastic player, and that poor bastard is out there all alone. Like, I mean, Chris, I think you're the one that called it from the beginning. The Toronto Maple Leafs are going to miss Mitch Marner.
Moneyball, people. Put it in the cassette, put it in the DVD player, put it in the Blu-ray player, play it off the cloud, whatever you have to do, watch Moneyball. As soon as I saw that, you have a guy that plays power play minutes, shorthanded minutes. He played 5-on-5. He made the majority of the passes to make Austin Matthews look good and pot, borderline empty net goals, cross-seam passes, the type of goal that Lane Hudson had from the beautiful pass that Nick Suzuki made across ice that nobody was tracking. You can't replace a player like that with a guy like Nicolas Roy. There's no way. So as soon as I saw that, I go, there's no way that they're going to be able to make up for it. And the sad part, I don't feel any sympathy for Leafs fans, but the sad part for Mitch Marner and his family is that he put his heart and soul on the line. He did what he did best. He wasn't a perfect all-around player. Like, he wasn't physically gifted, but he did so much for that team and was the glue in a lot of ways for their offensive play. I would say William Nylander has done a fairly good job picking up that role, but he's still not Mitch Marner. He's more of a goal scorer. So all that to say, as soon as Mitch Marner was out of the way and they did nothing to replace him, there's no chance that Toronto is going to be able to play the same style of play. And then their defensive end sucks, and their goaltending is, up and down. So what do I expect? They have, it was Spitting Chicklets. I think it was Ryan Whitney who said it. They have no fight. There's no character on that team. They have no heart.
They have no dogs. They have no dogs on those teams.
There you go.
They have no dogs on that team. And bringing in Florian just adds a new one.
Yep.
I like I said, I don't mean to bring the pressure on the kid, but like he brought in that little dog fight tonight that this team was missing for the last few games. He's probably this team was missing an identity for these 5 losses, at least since the beginning of November. And I think he maybe sparked something back tonight. And again, it's against a losing Toronto Maple Leafs team, mind you. They've won their last couple of games though, but like on the overall, they're a fragile team. He brought that back, but now I want to see them do it consistently and against the better teams in the league. And that's why I'm looking forward to next weekend afternoon games against Vegas and against Colorado. If they could play the same way, it's going to be tough, but they might give Vegas and the Avalanche a run for their money.
Yeah. Cue the John Tortorella. I've seen you. Cue that because, it's a good test. It's a good game.
I love that.
Well, he basically says this is a good test for us. I think they were playing as Rangers against St. Louis Blues, and they were 2 good teams. And it was those 2 teams, both Vegas and Colorado. It's going to be a good way to evaluate where the Montreal Canadiens are with all those injuries on top of it. Even more so, can we still compete with these teams even though we have a bunch of pieces missing? So they have to go dialed in. They have to go in focus. They have to rewind and watch some game tape over there. But great week of hockey coming up. Might be a very tough week, but a very, very good week.
Yeah,
I think as fans, fair warning, it could be a very rough week, but it could also be a very surprising and hopeful one at the same time.
Yeah, and that's going to wrap up the schedule for the month of November, and then the boys come back home for back-to-back games to start off December at home against the Sens and the Jets. Then they go back-to-back games away and at home against the Leafs and against St. Louis Blues, who called up Logan Mailloux today. So we just might. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the next 2 weeks. But we might see the Canadiens face Logan Mailloux on December 7th. That's all I got for tonight.
We fucking beat the Leafs. Just savor it. It's time to go back, watch highlights, watch.
I'm gonna go watch. Yeah, I gotta go watch Marty's.
Get all in.
I definitely got to go watch Marty's press conference. So listen, to all of our audience members on YouTube and Twitter, also known as X, joining us live, thank you so much for your comments. To everybody, Rob, Big Pizza Pie, everybody else, Elias, that were all there, thank you so much. Click like and subscribe. Share this with your friends. It is absolutely free. Follow us on Twitter. And you could follow us as well on other social media platforms such as Instagram and TikTok. Like I said, YouTube and Twitter or X once again. A big shout out to our sponsors, Habs Cave, Les Délices, La Frenette, and Mike's Barbecue Rub. We definitely appreciate you. We appreciate you all as always. You can listen to our episodes audio platforms such on audio format. It's getting late. Saturday nights, has still got more partying to do. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. We beat the Leafs, and on to the next challenge. Appreciate your time, buddy. Have a good night. To all of you, have a good night. Habs win. Go Habs go. And we'll be looking forward to seeing you guys maybe on some post-game shows next weekend. Until then, bye now.
Bye now. Leafs suck. 67.
Good night.
Dynasty.